How much time have you spent thinking about what you should be doing, but not actually doing it? Like questions that are, should I cut out this food? Should I try that plan? Should I wait till after the weekend? Should I wait till after the holidays? Maybe I should just start Monday. Or I have all these things going on. I'm super busy. Maybe I'll just start next month. But in the meantime, the scale doesn't move. Your jeans feel super tight. Your body feels inflamed, and you're exhausted from thinking about what you're doing and never really making a decision. And that's what I want to talk about today, how overthinking is keeping you stuck and how one simple decision can shut all of the noise down. Today, I finally made a decision after years of waffling back and forth and what I should do and what I shouldn't do and all the excuses. I finally committed to something that I have known in my gut that I needed to do for a long time. And the moment that I decided, all of the overwhelm stopped. And so grab your favorite drink, coffee, whatever that is, grab your favorite drink and let's have a discussion about this because this decision has already changed so many things for me. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Nicole, and I am on a quest to lose 100 pounds. And so, one of the things that when I decided I was going to do this, and I've gotten caught up so many times in I'm going to do this and then I don't. And then I'm going to do this and then I'm not, and then I don't. And then I'm super serious this time and I'm actually going to lose this weight and I'm sick of carrying around the weight. I'm sick of feeling the way I do. And without fail, I have bailed out. And this has been going on for years. I had talked about in another video where the year that I was 37 and turning 38, I swore with everything in me that I would not turn 38. No, I was 36 turning 37. I always screw this up. Anyways, I was 36 turning 37. And I swore that I would not turn 38 the same way that I was turning 37, which was overweight. And at this point, I am unfortunately even heavier than that. So not only did I not reach that goal, I actually went backwards. So ever since then, I am 45. I will be 46 in July. And so it's been several years since I made that commitment. And every year I say the same thing. Every year when the new year starts, every year on my birthday, I'm always going to make this change. And so I got to a point where I just got sick of myself. Like I'm over it. I'm tired of my word not meaning anything. I'm tired of going back on things that I say. And this is a whole different video completely, but one of the things that changed for me is I decided that I'm going to have my own back. I know what I need to be doing. I know what I need to be doing for weight loss. I know what I need to be doing for a business. I know all of these things. And yet I constantly was looking outside for somebody else to tell me what to do. And I know now that it's because I was chasing a quick fix. I was chasing quick weight loss. I was chasing quick money. I was chasing um, big money. I was chasing all of these different things. And it's just led me to frustration. And also frustration in the fact that I couldn't trust my own word. I couldn't trust to do what I say I was going to do. And that's because I was ignoring what I felt inside instead of actually walking out the plan that God has laid out for me. And I discussed that in another video. I can link that down below where I finally had um, kind of a clarification of changing your heart of stone to a heart of flesh and how that lets you be able to hear the Lord and all that. So I will link that down below if you want to go check that out. But having that realization that these inklings that I'm feeling, these gut feelings, these intuitions, that this is the path God has given me. And I have repeatedly prayed for him to tell me what I need to be doing for vocation, what I need to be doing in weight loss, what I need to be doing to be healthy for my body, all of these different things. But then I was chasing what everybody else was saying. And the problem with that is grouping everybody into um, weight loss, for example. Grouping everybody into that together is not helpful because every single person is different. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's tolerances are different. Everybody's ability to decide that they want to change is different, or what they're willing to do to change is different. And when you look online and you see all these influencers or the fitness influencers or whatever, they're telling you what worked for you. And then because there's money in it, they're making a blanket statement that this is what you need to do as well. And so I fell into that. I have chased that for years. But this morning, I decided that. So let me back up a little bit. The beginning of the year, starting on January 5th, I stopped eating sugar. And I know that I needed to stop eating sugar because I was just feeling gross. Like, and I knew that it was stemming from having too much sugar. I was starting to get headaches every time I ate something that was sugary. Um, I had the whole wired but tired thing. Like, I woke up tired in the morning. And so I had all of these things going on. And so I knew that the first thing I needed to do was cut back on the sugar. And so I took that out the first of the year. And then I also decided that I had it in my head that I didn't want to go super strict. So I had it in my head that I was just going to start eating real food, like whole foods. And so I've done that since January 5th. There's been a couple times that we've eaten out, but on the times that we ate out, I was very mindful that I didn't overeat and I was still mindful of what I was eating, making sure that it was kind of as clean as it could have been for that situation. But nothing has really changed. So I think I did lose some water weight because I did a 3-day fast with my sister last week, I think. And so I did lose a little bit of water weight, which I knew that would happen and I knew I would gain some back. But for the amount of weight that I have to lose, paying attention to the way I eat and knowing for sure that I'm not overeating and still eating really clean foods for 15 days, I should have lost some weight. And I haven't. And so this morning I got on the scale and I'm really careful to not let the scale dictate how I feel. But this morning it kind of sent me into a spiral because I haven't lost any weight. And right away, my brain was like, what is the point? Why are we doing this? You might as well go eat what you want because then at least you're enjoying your food. Not that I'm not enjoying my food. Like, I actually surprisingly am really enjoying the way I'm eating, but I'm not really feeling any different. When I get up in the morning, I still feel very inflamed, like my hands, my face, like my ankles and feet. I still feel very puffy and tight and all of these things. And I'm also having some digestive issues that I won't necessarily go into, but these are ongoing things. And I guess the weight was just kind of the tipping point this morning that I'm putting in all this effort and it's not paying off. And I kept having this feeling that I've had for years that I need to do an elimination diet and I need to heal my gut. Like, I'm sure I have leaky gut. I actually just did a test with Function Health and got my blood work done and all of that stuff. And I did the add-on food sensitivity test. And a lot of people will say that sensitivity tests are not accurate, and it's just because that's the food you're eating anyways, and they don't necessarily tell you anything. But pretty much everything that came back on that were things that several years ago when I worked with a naturopath, she had me go off for quite a while. And when I was on that elimination diet, that one was for candida, but when I was on that diet, I felt absolutely amazing. That's the first time since I was in my 20s that I lost weight. I didn't have any inflammation. I was sleeping amazing. My digestion was fantastic. I had energy to spare. Like, I was begging her to let me start working out again because that was one thing that she had taken away to try to, get cortisol down and to stop taxing my body when it was already taxed. And so I've known since then. First of all, I didn't give myself long enough to actually heal from that elimination diet. And secondly, I very slowly went back into the standard American diet after I stopped that elimination diet. And I know that elimination diets are not forever, but you do have to give your body long enough to heal. And you do have to be in a place where you're not going to dive right back into emotional eating and all of those things that kind of put you right back to where you started. And so I have struggled with this for years. I think I worked with her in 2017, and I've worked with her on and off throughout from then until now. And I just was never in the right mental place to be able to do it again. I would say I was going to, and I never did. And so this morning, it was just like I went right back to there again. And because I am in a place now where I can trust my own gut instinct and trust my own body, and I don't care what everybody else is doing anymore, and I don't care what everybody else says, I just knew that I needed to go back and do this elimination diet and let my body heal. And then once my body heals, then I can add some stuff back in. I mean, everybody wants to talk about how healthy raw milk is, and everybody wants to talk about how healthy fresh grained or fresh milled flour, using that to make your own bread and pizza crust and cookies and whatever you're going to make with that, how healthy it is and how many vitamins and minerals are in it. But if your body is not healthy, even those things that are quote unquote healthy are not going to do well in your body. And that's kind of where I'm at. I haven't been eating like the cakes and pastas and bread and all of that stuff. I do get raw milk. I have been very dairy heavy because I've been trying to eat high protein and very low carb. But if those are things I'm sensitive to, I'm just putting more stress on my body by eating that way. And so as I was kind of mulling this over a little bit, I heard the Lord say to me, just in my spirit, not audibly, I heard him say to me, "Do you want to be well?" And so I immediately went and I was just like, oh, like I'm going to keep saying that I want to lose weight. I'm going to step into this coaching position as somebody that is in integrity and is losing weight, but yet I can't come on here and say I've lost weight yet. I'm trying. I'm looking at all these different ways, like I'm eating quote unquote healthy. I'm doing all these things, but the weight's not coming off. And so right away I went back into feeling like an imposter and how am I going to do this? And so my whole morning was just spent spiraling because I'm not losing weight. I don't know what to do. How am I going to, show up in my business as somebody that is helping women lose weight when I can't even get my crap together? And it was just like, you need to do an elimination diet. It's not forever. You need to heal your body. And then the Lord saying, "Do you want to get well?" And so I actually went and looked that up. I Googled it to see what verse that was because I remembered the Bible talking about that and him asking a man, "Do you want to get well?" And so the scripture was John 5:6, and it says, Jesus asked a longtime invalid at the pool of Bethsaida, "Do you want to be made well?" This question challenged the man who responds with the excuses about not reaching the water, prompting Jesus to command him, "Get up, pick up your mat, and walk," leading to his immediate healing and demonstrating that true wholeness involves more than just physical recovery, touching on spiritual readiness for change. And so that's just like the AI overview that Google gives you. But the one thing that kind of stuck out to me is he asked him, "Do you want to be made well?" But then it says the question challenges the man who responds with excuses about not reaching the water. And Jesus told him to get up. So I've had all these excuses. It's too restrictive. There's no way you can do that forever. Like you can't maintain eating that way. People saying that you don't have to go that strict. There's no reason you have to eat like that. You can just cut back. You can eat 80/20. You can do all these different things. Just go keto, just go paleo, just do all these different things. And I was listening to them. So every time I was getting that conviction that I needed to do an elimination diet, like the Lord was trying to tell me, get up and walk, get up and do something. But my brain was giving me all of these excuses, just like this man had. And then it says, so the passage in context says, when Jesus saw the man and knew that he had been sick for such a long time, Jesus asked him, "Do you want to be well?" And the sick man answered, "Sir, there is no one to help me get to the pool when the water starts moving. While I am there, while I am coming to the water, someone else always gets in before me." And Jesus said, "Stand up, pick up your mat, and walk." At once the man was cured, and he picked up his mat and walked. And another thing that sticks out to me is this was just the man and Jesus. Nobody else helped him. There was nobody else around. Um, and that's one of the things that I have come back to in this having my own back and doing what I feel convicted to do is that I've prayed for this for years and years and years. And yet the Lord was telling me what to do. And I wasn't doing it because I was looking outside of myself. I was looking for other answers. I was looking for a quick fix. I was looking for all these different things. But He was telling me what to do. I just wasn't doing it. And so the fact that this was just the man and Jesus, it just kind of hits that home again that I don't need anybody outside of me. I have plenty of knowledge. Like I know the how. I just needed to, or I know all of the different ways to go about this, I guess is what I'm saying. But within me, I knew what I needed to do. Like He was telling me what to do. I just wasn't listening. And so that was just kind of another thing that hit me with this. And then it says the meaning and significance, choice for wholeness. Jesus's question isn't just about physical health, but a deeper, holistic wellness, inviting the man to choose this new way of life. And I feel like that's what he's doing with me. Beyond excuses. The man's response highlights his focus on circumstances and helplessness, while Jesus offers a direct path to transformation. And that also spoke to me because I was doing the same thing. I was having a victim mentality or the toddler voice. I don't want to do this. It's too much. It's too hard. It's not going to work anyways. I'm just going to be this way forever. What's wrong with me? Why can't I fix this? Lord, why aren't you answering me? All of these things were all helplessness and excuses instead of me just stepping into what the Lord has told me to do. Like, it's not that difficult. And even when I was working with the naturopath, I feel very sure that she hears from the Holy Spirit and that she gives her recommendations based on what the Lord is telling her to tell you, to be a healer, essentially. And so he gives her direction and she passes it on, but yet I didn't do it because I would get those um like I would get those instructions from her, and then I would have people around me that that would make the comments, you can't stick to that. That's not something that you can walk out long term, blah blah blah. And so instead of just doing what she was telling me to do that I felt was inspired by the Holy Spirit or what I felt the Holy Spirit was telling me to do, I just went into this victim mentality and it hasn't gotten me anywhere. All it's done is cause me to continue to just eat the way I want or to follow these quick tips, but they're not quick because all I've done is gain extra weight. And then it says spiritual transformation. The miracle signifies a true healing. That true healing involves spiritual liberation from sin and bondage, leading to a changed life. And this is absolutely what I'm sitting in as well, because not doing what you feel the Lord calling you to do is sin. And another thing that I've talked with my friends a lot about is I feel like I need to give up this food, but I can't. And we've discussed that so many times because I always ask the question, what hold does this food have on me? Why can I not give up coffee? Why can I not give up sugar? Why can I not do an elimination diet? Like, why does food have such a hold on me? And through the past several months, I have worked through that. I feel completely different about food. I don't feel like there's any food that I can't give up anymore. I'm really sad about giving up dairy because I really like it. And it's something that helps me stay focused on whole foods and, be whole food based and protein based and all of those things. But I know that right now that needs to be something that goes. But in the past, that was always a question I have. Like, I don't understand. And so that actually makes it an idol that the Lord's telling me to cut these things out and I'm putting them above Him, which causes me to focus on food. That's all I think about. And what am I going to eat? And what am I going to eat? And should I eat this? And should I eat that? And should I follow this diet or should I follow this plan? And all it did was create a bunch of confusion. So having it written like that really made sense to me that true healing, and for me, it's going to be physical healing, but it's also going to be spiritual because I'm not looking to food to be my comfort, to bring me joy, to bring me peace, to take away feelings that I don't want to feel anymore. Like instead, I can go to the Lord and let Him be that place for me instead of turning to food. So also about the bondage, 100% I was in bondage to food. Like I just didn't see a way around it. And I think it's really easy to see people talk about dieting and losing weight and whatever and not get to the depth of what food does to some people. And that's me. Like that's how I felt. That's how it's been for years. And just walking through this has been so eye-opening. And I'm so thankful that the Lord has taken the veil away and opened my eyes to these things and helped me to see them clearly. And then the last thing says, a question for us. The passage serves as a challenge for believers to examine areas in their lives where they might be comfortable in their brokenness. That was me for sure. Or also holding on to excuses. Again, me for sure, rather than embracing the complete life that Jesus offers. And I know that when I did this elimination diet last time, my life was vastly different, completely different. I had, like I said, energy. I had Um, my body felt amazing. I felt good in my body. I had energy to do things for my family. I wanted to do things for my family. Like it totally changed my attitude and the way I felt about life, and just to be able to serve other people and help other people and not be worried about my body, like what my body's looking like, what people might be thinking about my body, which they're probably not. But regardless, it absolutely changed everything. And yet that was in 2017. And I have avoided this and avoided this and avoided this because of this hold that food had on me. And I do feel like that's a spiritual attack. I feel like that's an attack from the devil. I mean, we could go into Genesis where the fall came from food, like it involved food. And so this has been going on for years and years and years. But I think just the reality, or the, not the reality, but the realization now that these things that I feel so deeply, even if they're hard, even if it's a sacrifice, even if it scares me a little bit, these things that I feel so deeply are 100% the Lord guiding and directing me into the life that is going to be best used for Him. It's going to give me the most energy to be able to do what He needs me to do in this life. It's going to let me be able to serve my family well and to be able to keep up with my grandbabies and to be able to do all these things. It's just, that's what I want. And so to do that, my first step is an elimination diet. And is that everybody's first step? Absolutely not. I mean, if you look online, they're going to tell you what to do. I feel like everybody needs to really listen to what the Lord is telling them to do and what the Lord is telling them to follow, and the best thing for their body, because he's not going to lead you astray. I mean, you're here to bring him honor and glory and to be his hands and feet. And so why would he not want you healthy, and why would he not tell you the best thing for you to do? And it's that way in my entire life. I've questioned so many things about my business, and I've questioned different things about the way I parent or the way that I'm a wife, how I show up for all these different things. But when it really comes down to it, the things that I have begged God for years and years and years, he was telling me. I just wasn't listening. Or I was hearing it, but I was thinking, "Oh no, that's too much. That he can't be asking me to do that because that's too much." But it wasn't. And I 100% know that I heard this morning, "Do you want to be well?" And so for me to walk away from that is definitely sin, and it's going to keep me in bondage, and it's going to keep me feeling gross in my body, feeling inflamed and yucky. And we all know that inflammation is the basis for all disease. So if I want to prevent that in my life, I've waited long enough, and it's time for me to do that. And so here's the part out of all of this that I don't want you to miss. Nothing is actually going to change for you until you make a decision. And when I made that decision this morning, when I committed to doing this, all of the other stuff went away. Once you commit, all of the overwhelm, all of the questioning, all of the talking yourself out of it, all of the excuses, all that stuff goes away when you commit to doing something. It just takes all that chatter in your mind and it just goes away. And it was the same way when I cut out sugar. It was the same way when I decided what I was going to do for online business. It was the same when I decided I was going to focus on eating real whole foods. The decision was made. I didn't have to question it anymore. Make a decision and then walk in it. There's no more questioning. There's no more um, settling or the going back and forth that our brains like to do. But like the sugar, if I was kind of in and out, like, so and so says I don't have to cut out sugar to lose weight, but so and so says I should only eat 20% sugar, but so and so says I should only eat less sugar. Um, or I don't need to cut it out forever. I only need to do this or that. Once I decided I'm not eating sugar, I know what it does to my body. I don't want to do that. I'm tired of this weight. I'm tired of the being lethargic and all that stuff. Once I cut it out, I didn't think about it anymore. Like there's no more negotiation. And so once you make that decision or that commitment or whatever you want to call it, it takes so much of that mind chatter away that so many of us struggle with. Like you don't have to worry about that anymore. And so a lot of times the reason we stay stuck isn't because we don't know what to do. It's because we're not making a decision. We're not committing to anything. We keep giving ourselves an out because we're not committed. And so I just want to say that one thing that helped me a lot with this was my coach in helping me to understand how to have my own back and listen to my own intuition and pushed me that I really did know what I was supposed to be doing and I really was hearing from the Lord. And it's not because I didn't know what to do, or I don't know all of these strategies around coaching, but it's because somebody was outside of me that could see things that either I couldn't see or didn't want to see and just needed somebody to call out to me. When you're inside your own head, it's really hard to see what can be obvious to people that are looking from the outside. And so that's exactly what I created my membership for. Um, I just got tired of coaching being something that you needed to take a second mortgage out for. And the Lord has been working on this within me for a long time that I needed to do a membership that was accessible to everybody that wanted to be in it, for everybody to get help. And I just like knowing that I needed to do this elimination diet, I 100% know that this is what I'm being called to. And so we are not going to talk about what to eat. I'm not going to give you a food plan. It's just about having somebody outside of yourself be able to see or help you see the patterns that you keep walking in or that you keep repeating and helping you commit to the thing that you know you need to do or the thing that you want to do, whatever that is. But to make that commitment and then walk beside you as you walk it out. It can be really hard even after you make the decision, to try to fall into old habits or whatever. But having somebody with you that is doing it and somebody with you that can kind of call you out and say, wait a minute, that's not what you said you were doing. Like you made a decision. There's no more negotiating, no more negotiations. Like, let's do this. And to give you um, encouragement and just to walk alongside of you on that path. Um, if that's something that you're ready to try is to make a decision and stop the circling of all these decisions and chasing quick fixes and all of these different things. If you're ready to stop negotiating with yourself every time you try to make a decision, you can go check out my membership at NicoleYoungCoaching.com. I will put a link down in the show description. And there's no pressure for you to join. I just know how incredibly beneficial it can be to have somebody hold you to what you say you want and to hold you to what the Lord is calling you to, and just to kind of give that extra little push because it's so easy to fall back into old habits when everybody around you is putting questions into your mind. Like that's not sustainable. Why are you doing that? You don't have to be that strict. Um, how are you going to go to a birthday party? How are you going to go out to eat? How are you going to do all these things if you're following this strict diet? And I'm not saying everybody has to follow a strict diet. I just know that's what I need to be doing for the time being. Um, but sometimes it's just nice to have somebody that's walking the same path with you that understands and that's not going to question the choices that God is putting in your heart. So if this episode hit home, sit with this for a little while and ask yourself the same thing that I had to answer today. Do you actually want to be well? Have you circled this mountain long enough? Is it time to turn north if we want to have another biblical reference? But do you actually want to be well? And that's a question that you need to answer. Are you ready to are you ready to move? Are you ready to pick up your mat and to be well? Once you answer that honestly, then the steps start to become a lot more clear of what you need to do. So again, if you want to check out the membership, go ahead and check that out, NicoleYoungCoaching.com. And other than that, I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.